Alright, I have my exhaust mounted up, I got my hood on there, I got my motor in there, I got my steering on there. Now I need to start closing in stuff, put stuff, and make my dash first, and then build kind of off and into that. So for my dash, one of the main things it's going to have is this here gauge. So this gauge I found online. Let's see, it's motorcycle speedometer. It's Samdo updated universal ... tur 1, 2, 4 cylinders new. So this does not work with EFI stuff. It only works with carbureted stuff, and it gets its RPMs based off of the trigger in by your stator. So every time it does that, it can figure it out. It has a single button, I believe, yeah, here, to use for programming. Somehow you switch stuff and can change the diameter of tires. I don't know how you do that all with one button yet. We'll get there one day, I suppose. This will also work hand in hand with this, because it's got a fuel gauge, has gear indicator, which this has no gears. However, I ordered a new 125. I ended up just ordering a kickstart 125 that's 4 speeds. So I also ordered some gear position sensors because I'm not quite sure which one it uses. There's 2 different ones. So I ordered the 2 of them. So whenever that gets here, I'll be able to figure it out. And then I'll be able to hook it up to here. So this will be able to tell me what gear I'm in. It'll tell me my speed. It'll tell me how much fuel I have, mileage, and attack, which is awesome. And this is going to be one of the main things. So this needs to be number 1. I mean, I could probably put it there, huh? I was also thinking right there, because that'd be nice for the driver. And then I got a whole bunch of switches, which I'm gonna swap out with the switches in this, just because those ones look better and are labeled. And this, I mean, would I have room for these side by side? Oh man, I will. I think that's going to be it. They're going to be below the steering. So that'll actually, and then I can use this plate too. Oh man, that's going to be super easy. First, before I get too deep, let's just swap all these out. That's going to be numero uno, number 1. So I can turn my power on. Let's see, I figure I got 4 left. I got fog lights, driving lights, headlights. Horn will probably be one of the less frequently used ones. It's going to be, I don't have a high beam, low beam because of my LEDs, so it's going to be running lights, headlights. And then we'll have blinkers, horn, start, 12-volt power on. I'm going to angle them. But now that I know that I'm going to hook those up and how I'm going to hook them up, they're going to be down here. They're not going to interfere with this at all. So I'm going to do this part first. Alright, so I rough cut a piece off of this end already to use as a hanger for plumbing. And I did not use a straight edge. I just rough cut. So today I'm going to have to make a straight edge. So we'll do that. There's our 12. There's our 8. I'm looking at the glare to line that up where it's going to start. All right, now, oh yeah, might have a good break here, we'll see. So it really doesn't matter which side is up, so long as I do it the same. So now I'm going to use a series of step bends. in my brake here to get a radius. Just because we're gonna have that gentle curve that's going to take some of this business. All right, now let's try and get our gentle curve in it. Does see it's too high now. This part should be easy. Doesn't have a whole lot of spring back. It has some, but not crazy. Straight with it, but underneath it. Still a hair, but that will do. So let's get it straight with that hood. And work our way across the part. And then it needs to go sharp. I need to flatten it a little bit right in that spot. Just a tiny bit more down. All right, so if you look at that now, like the front looks all right. You know, I could, when I weld this other plate on here, I can kind of line that up and then grind it to where it needs to be. But even more than that, this curves and then it's straight. So it kind of just doesn't look right, does it? Especially if you come back here. You can see curve and straight, it looks awkward. So what I'm gonna do is trim this a little bit and then try and curve this down a little by hand. Oh, yes. Oh, that's what it needed. Look at that. Woo! Yes. So now, let's get some magnets. And I want a gap in between the parts so that way the hood doesn't just crush into the edge there. Now I'm going to tack it right up there. Let's get that off. All right, let's try and figure out how big our next piece is going to be. This is where it's going to start getting hard. Okay, so now, one, I need to imagine my dash there. And I need to be at least big enough for that. And I need to follow this imaginary line here. And this is going to be the side piece. So, if we do that, I want it to be roughly 15 inches long. That says 11, however it's going to have the curve. So, by let's say 14. All right, so now and then we'll put a sharper curve here and an abrupt crease there. And then our radius will start around there. All right. Which will kind of fade away to nothing towards the back. All right. I'm probably gonna do some trimming and maybe some more trimming, and then I'll have less to work with, so it'll be a little easier, and then probably reattack a little. All right, now I need to move this bend down a bit.
All right, now I'm gonna weld those up. I'm gonna use a flat piece of steel and tap. So I'm gonna tap them to get them to lay flat together, and then tack, and then get them all welded up.
All right, so I did some tacking and some hammering and some tacking, followed by some welding. And somehow this appears to have moved considerably. Okay, apparently I left this out when I did it. Now I'm gonna weld this right here. All right, that's welded there now too. So here we go.
I'll need some body filler just because they weren't quite perfectly lined up. I don't want to take more off of it. So that's cool, we'll just wait. We'll do the body filler another day. Another thing I could do another weld and another weld and then grind it down, but I'm happy. We'll just do body filler when we paint it up anyway to smooth out any marks. Real thin coat ought to take care of that little edge there. See, there's not much of an edge. So next I'll need to do this side. Once I get this side done, then I'll figure this out and I'll trim all those and make my dash part of it. This will probably be trimmed something like from here down to here, almost diagonal perfect. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today.
Yeah. See you next time. Buff it up, 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 buff it up,